Alright guys, welcome to the video. This is AVstackr, and in this video we're going to be showing you how to measure a drawing using the drawing measure tool. So we're going to go and open our file. So here we have a basic conference room. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to scale the drawing. So you can usually use like a doorway for 36 inches. Luckily for us, this one actually has markers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down the shift key to get a straight line, get a nice and accurate number here. So we'll plug in 46. So this is going to go ahead and scale the 258 pixels on the screen here to 46 inches. And then now we have our scaled drawing. So just to confirm, we can go here to the measure tool and I can measure and we get about 46 inches. So the first thing I'm going to want to do here is identify what size screen to put in this room. So we can use our display sizer tool. If we want to add objects to the drawing, such as devices, go to the drop down menu here for objects, and you can see here we have different size displays from 43 inch up to 136 inch. We have a camera, we have multiple microphone types, in-ceiling speakers, touch screens, video bars, back boxes, some mounting hardware, furniture, and we also have a network access point and data ports and a junction box. So we're going to be expanding these areas here, these categories going forward. If you guys have any requests for certain types of devices, feel free to drop them in the comments and we'll take a look and see if we can add them. So I'm going to go ahead and make this drawing black and white. I'm going to add a layer for transparency over the top. And we'll go ahead and click Sizer. Now you can see here at the bottom it says Specify Display Center Point. So I'm going to click the front of room display right in the center where I want it. And then step 2, specify closest viewer position. So that's going to be the closest seat. Whoever's sitting closest to the display, we're going to put them right about there. And then step 3, specify farthest viewer position. So that's going to be this chair. If it needs to be seen by the back of the room, then you can select someone somewhere in the back. We'll just select right about here for where the head would be in this chair. And then finally set the wall width. So we're going to go ahead and utilize this entire length of this wall. So we'll select the first point and we'll select the second point. So this gives us a maximum constraint on how large of a screen we can put. All right. So it's automatically taken that into consideration, and it looks like it recommended a 65 inch for this room. And this room is, as far as the distance to the farthest position, oh, it says it here, the farthest position is 19 feet. So that's pretty accurate for a 65 inch. And what we're actually doing here is we're using a different formula. It's very similar to like the AVstackr model, but this actually takes into consideration comfort for the nearest, the person seated closest to the display. So you can see here the nearest person is about 5 feet from the display. And we don't want to overwhelm them, right? Because at 19 feet, we can maybe put like an 86 inch. In some cases, depending on the range, it could be up to 98 inch. Depending on the content you're looking at, right? But for video conferencing, right, this software here is geared towards video conferencing systems. So we want to be able to see it from the back, right? For hybrid conferencing, we want to see people's faces and the content, but we also want to make it comfortable for the people seated at the front of the room. So that's why we have here, we're taking that into consideration. So on the right here, we have this panel, and it's going to show some information. Now, it's saying here the adequate minimum is 92 inches. Okay, so the closest would be like maybe like an 86 inch. But we want to take into consideration the person at the front of the room. And so it's saying if you're really seated this far away, the best situation would be a 49 inch display. But the compromise somewhere in the middle is going to be 65 inch. Okay, so that's what I would definitely go for like a 65 in this room, maybe a 75, but based on this, I'd be happy with a 65. All right, so now we have this option here to switch to dual display mode, and we can also apply a 65-inch display. Let's just we'll check it, see what it looks like for dual display, see what it gives us. So right here, you can see based on the available length of this wall, it gives us two 65-inch displays, and that's based off this comfort threshold of 45 degrees, right? So that means that this person could basically see within a 45-degree viewing angle both screens by using sequential attention. It means that they're turning their head from left to right. You can see here, head turn angle is 47.1 degrees. So sequential attention is required between each display. So you can't really see both within, you're going to be turning your head basically 47 degrees to look between each display for the person in the front, right? And then someone at the back here, their viewing angle is going to be a lot tighter. So this is why we want to keep that into consideration. We want to consider, you don't have to look this way and then look that way to see the screens when you're that close. So this is why we came up with this model. Now we can actually expand this to up to like 65 degrees. So 65 degrees means, you're going to have a little bit of a larger head turn when you're looking at the display. That's really if you want to just like max out the display size. But based on the constraints here, it looks like we're still stuck at 65 inches. So that saves you right there on, measuring. And then if we want to apply the displays, we want to actually drop the objects into the canvas. We can hit this apply displays button here. And then we have our screens basically installed in the drawings. You can see we have two 65-inch displays, and we have some options. So I'm going to go ahead and select for my 65-inch display the background. This is going to be a Teams room, and we'll do this for both displays. We'll set this to Teams. And for the viewing height, I think we're going to do 48 inches above the finished floor is fine. I want to add in a camera. Actually, let's just make it simple. We'll add in a video bar. So let's do like let's see here, what do we have? We have video bars. I just passed it. Okay. Let's add in a Crestron bar. Pop that right in the middle, and we'll just rotate this 90 degrees. Good. Let's move that so it's aligned nicely. And we'll say for the height, we'll put like 44 inches. And let's add a touch panel to the table. So we'll add a TS1070 to the table. Rotate 90 degrees. And let's see what other options we have here for this room. This will make it nice and easy. And let's see here. We could do a back box. Let's do a TA500 back box. Rotate that 90 degrees. We'll move that right behind. Well, actually, it's a dual display, so we would want to actually add this here. So an update that's coming is we're going to have an electrical view. So this electrical view will actually show conduits and back boxes only. So you can use that and print it out in the drawing. So that's coming very soon. And it looks like we also may need to auto place these back boxes behind the screens. So that will be something that I'm going to write down after this video because that could be really handy. All right. And what I'm going to do is let's take a look at what this looks like. So I'm going to go to set viewpoint. I'm going to select the back seat here right in the center. And you can see here we have on the right our dual Teams displays with the video bar. And it looks like our video bar is kind of floating a little bit high. So let's select that in the elevation and we can drop this down a couple inches, 42 inches. Let's show the height, 44 inches to the bottom, 42 to the bottom. And our touch panel is in the way. Let's drop this down to standard table height, about 30 inches. We will have a conference table object produced soon, so that's on the way. We actually currently have a credenza. We have a credenza. We could add in a credenza just to show you. Maybe in this example, do is until our conference table object is created, we'll use credenza. Let's pop that on top of our credenza. Let's move it over to the right. I'm going to just move that and place it like right there. There you go. So now we have our touch panel on the credenza. We've got our Crestron video bar, dual displays, and that's really all we need. Are we missing anything else? That's it. Okay, so let's go, and there's a couple things we could do here as far as output. First, we could export this as an object as is. So this will be the same elevation that we're seeing here in the preview. Okay. We could do CAD mode, which will show us essentially the same objects but with just the lines. And so we can see our back boxes now. Let's see if we can select our back box. Let's raise the height on this. Typically we want the back box to be in the center. Oops, I just messed it up. 32.8 is the height of the box itself. And I think I just screwed it up. Give me a second here. All right, let's do this. I'm not sure what happened. I'm just going to delete this because... Okay, and I'm going to duplicate the existing back box. We'll pop that right back in. And what we'll do is we'll change the Z value. We'll pop that up to about 50, 53 just for visualization. Same for the other one. We'll show the height of the back box to the center. And we'll show the height of the display to the bottom. Okay, and I think that's what we'll do is we'll actually show this on the right side. So we'll drop this out to the right a little bit so it's not in the way. And again, like I said, we're going to actually have a little toggle here to show electrical only. So that way you can just show your electrical drawings. Now if we want, we can also add in, a AV box. So we can add in a junction box here on the wall. We'll pop this down like for the credenza. Right here in the wall, right in the center, about 18 inches. And let's see here, this credenza, the text is kind of getting clogged up here. Let's hide the text for the credenza. Actually, what we could do is we could show it to the side. Let's show that to the side, okay? And then for our J-box, we want to connect it to the back box. So we'll select the TA500. And we'll also show the height, 18 inches for that box. And in an upcoming update, I believe for these back boxes, or the J-box 4x4, there's a specific model that has two 1.25 inch cutouts. So once we add that in there, we'll be able to have the J-box split to both back boxes. But right now we just have one. All right, so that's CAD mode, and if we exit, actually before I exit CAD mode, let's make sure we have a conduit run to the ceiling, right? We need that. So we'll show our stub up to the ceiling. We'll show that for both boxes. And I think that's good. Come back out of CAD mode. You can see our conduits are kind of still there. We have that taken care of this week, so it'll be saved or only shown in like an electrical version. But all right, so that's that. Let's export this to see what it looks like. Okay, so there it is. There's our drawing. We've got our information here, our TVs, conduits, our measurements, everything kind of laid out. And let's say we want to do like a nice version with some graphics. Right, so let's do this. Let's just hide our conduits for now. So let's just hide this conduit. Turn this off. Select the back box. We'll turn off the stub ups. And let's do a render. So with this render tool here, we can change the wall finish. So we can change the color of the wall. We'll do like a dark walnut. We can change the floor material. Let's do dark walnut. We don't have any chairs. Table already has graphics, but we can actually change that as well. And then for the display glass, we'll do slightly reflective. Lighting level, we'll do soft, and then we'll generate a render. So we'll let this load for a few seconds, and it's going to give us a nice render of the elevation. So there you go, we got a nice render showing the wood paneling, the wood flooring. We have all our measurements, and if we want to refine this, we can say maybe, you know, we could say put an elephant statue on the credenza. We'll say add a golden elephant statue on the credenza. So we'll send that request in and see what it comes back with. There you go. So now you get your golden elephant, and we've used about 8 credits on that for the AI service, and you can actually download this and use this in your marketing material for your pre-design. All right, guys, so that's how you use AVstackr's drawing measure tool. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.